This is Chuck Huber, the voice of Android 17. You're listening to Anime Seekers. You better be, or I'm coming for you. Dragon of the Darkness, Flame!
Jedi Squadron is a podcast run by the Anime Secrets website. Check us out at animesecrets.org for more anime, video game, tokusatsu, and now Star Wars content. Remember to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts today.
Hello, new Padawans, and welcome to the Jedi Squadron podcast. Here, you will be taking lessons in the many pieces of the Star Wars universe, whether it be the movies, animated series, video games, comics, and etc. This is your training into becoming a Star Wars fan as part of the Jedi Squadron. May your training go well, and may the Force be with you, young Padawans.
What is going on, Star Wars Nation? This is the Jedi Squadron podcast, presented by AnimeSecrets.org. I'm your host, Nathan Desai.
And I'm Rizwan Merchant.
And today we are going to be continuing our review of the going through the prequel era of Star Wars. We did Phantom Menace last time, and this time we're doing Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, which I'm personally looking forward to this. I've been wanting to review this movie in depth for a long time because this is a movie that I got some interesting things to say about it. Both, not just from having just watched it last night to review it, but also just what this movie was for me as an experience from my childhood. I'll go into a little bit more detail later, but yeah, we're going to be talking about Attack of the Clones, after which we'll be taking a look at some of the Clone Wars related stuff. Like, we're going to look at Genndy Tartakovsky. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that name, but that 2003 series, he's the same guy that did like a Samurai Jack and like Dexter's Lab and Powerpuff Girls. And he also did a micro series for the Clone Wars, even though that's not considered canon now. We'll talk about whether or not that counts as canon when we get to it. And then, of course, we're going to take a look at the Majesty, that is the 2008 series.
And Filoni we trust, and Filoni we will survive.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'll just add on that Nathan has some thoughts on his personal opinion. And I'm going to go through the painstaking journey of trying to defend this movie, but I may not do it. I may not be able to. So we'll see what I come up with as my podcast one.
Yeah.
Because I was able to defend Phantom Menace last time. And I think we did a pretty good job of that. But I don't know if I could do it again for Attack of the Clone.
Yeah, same here.
So let's find out.
All right, so let's begin with a little bit of history. Naturally, this film immediately entered production after The Phantom Menace was released. Apparently, Lucas was initially reluctant to return to writing because, as most people know, The Phantom Menace was not a very well-received film. It received an overall mixed critical reception where, people, they had a lot of praise for Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor's performances, and they praised the lightsaber duel as well as it being just a visually amazing film. But most people didn't like Natalie Portman's performance. Most people didn't like Jake Lloyd's performance. Most people found the overall plot of the movie, they were very critical of it. So overall, Lucas was initially reluctant to return. He had finished a rough draft of the script only 3 months before principal photography was supposed to begin. And Jonathan Hale, he had previously worked with George Lucas as a writer on the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. He was brought in to help with the third draft. That would eventually become the final one. And they only, if you want to talk about finishing stuff at the last minute, they only completed this final one only 3 days before principal photography began. Apparently, what'd you say?
That sounds like an old college try right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, this was a joke, but it's all the more hilarious when you think of it that way. The working title for the movie was Jar Jar's Great Adventures, which was basically taking a sarcastic reference to take a jab at everybody who had some not so flattering things to say about our favorite Gungan, which Jar Jar's Great Adventure, that would be an interesting title for a movie. So the initial idea of the Clone Wars, because remember the Clone Wars begins in this movie, and I think I went into a little detail on this when we reviewed The Empire Strikes Back, but if you'll remember, the Clone Wars was first mentioned by Obi-Wan Kenobi in A New Hope, and his initial idea, Lucas's idea, that being said, was that it was going to be a war caused by a planet of clones, and Lando Calrissian was supposed to be one of them. That was the idea that Lucas had in mind when he was writing The Empire Strikes Back, but then he came up with this new concept later, which is what we ultimately ended up getting, which was, an army of clone troopers bred from a remote planet to help assist the Republic. So, yeah, I'm kind of curious how the whole Planet of Clones thing, being the cause of the Clone Wars, would have played out if Lucas went with that original concept. But I mean, if he had gone with that original concept, we wouldn't have gotten the Clone Wars, so I'm definitely not complaining there. Of course, the big thing here is that the major cast addition from the previous movie was Hayden Christensen. He got cast as adult Anakin Skywalker. A couple of people who were noted to play the part. So there was rising star, very most famously, everybody knows about this, Leonardo DiCaprio, who was very quickly becoming the big name that he is today, thanks to Titanic. He apparently met with Lucas, but he, quote, just didn't feel ready to take that dive at that point, unquote. Some other actors were James Van Der Beek and Joshua Jackson. They're both from Dawson's Creek, and I don't know about Joshua Jackson, but some Toku fans might actually know who James Van Der Beek is, because I can't remember what year it was, but remember that like Power/Rangers fan film that came out that was like a gritty retelling of Power Rangers? He actually played Rocky in that Power/Rangers bit. I know that kind of garnered a bit of a mixed reaction from different fans, but he was Rocky in that movie. There was then unknown Eric Christian Olsen. He's known now for in NCIS Los Angeles. Eric Von Denton, who's best known for a number of voice and for a bunch of voice roles and live action roles in Disney films like Toy Story, Tarzan, Recess, and The Princess Diaries. Ryan Phillippe and Chris Klein, who played Cicada in season 5 of The Flash. Christian Bale, who we all know from the Dark Knight trilogy. He was rumored to be playing for the part. And there's some other actors that have admitted that they auditioned, but the role got away, like Devon Sawa. He's from the movie Casper. Topher Grace from that 70s show in Spider-Man 3. Yeah, the guy who played Venom would have auditioned for Anakin, which is hilarious because if you watch that 70s show, you'll know that his character, Eric Foreman, is a diehard Star Wars fan. So imagine him playing the geeky Star Wars fan in that 70s show and then going on to actually play an actual Star Wars character. That would have just been insane. Paul Walker, who was fresh off of his newfound fame courtesy of the Fast and the Furious film, and Chris Hunnan, who's from Sons of Anarchy. But apparently George Lucas cast Hayden Christensen, so there's rumors that he only got cast because he looked good next to Natalie Portman, but Lucas has said because he, quote, needed an actor who had that presence of the dark side, unquote, which, believe it or not, is as much as, well, actually, you know what, I'll talk more about that when we get to the, when we analyze the characters. One
note about Joshua Jackson that you mentioned earlier, how you named notes for him. He's actually an actor in one of my favorite childhood movie series. He plays Charlie Conway in Mighty Ducks Hockey Trilogy movies thing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So he's one of my favorite child actors because I grew up watching Mighty Ducks, and I'm kind of reluctant to admit the fact that I was pretty obsessive about how I watched those movies for many years. I was a huge fan of them. So it's pretty cool to know that he was also looking to become Anakin Skywalker, because that would have melded two of my fandoms together.
Yeah, totally.
But alas, he didn't get it, and I'm kind of glad he got it because he's pretty badass.
Yeah. In keeping with his tradition of requesting a purple-colored prop as part of his costume, Samuel L. Jackson sought to be given a purple lightsaber to help him stand out among the other Jedi, which, by the way, just kind of a little side note here. So I always found this kind of funny, and I'm never going to get another chance to talk about this, so I'm not going to talk about it right here. When the Phantom Menace was coming out, and they were like releasing toys of the characters, they actually released toys of the Jedi Council members, and even though none of them appeared with lightsabers, the action figures came with lightsabers. So Mace Windu's toy in from the Phantom Menace came with a blue lightsaber, and Ki-Adi-Mundi came with a purple lightsaber. But here it's switched around to where Ki-Adi-Mundi has a blue lightsaber, and Mace Windu has the purple lightsaber. So I was always just kind of wondering in my head, did they just like switch lightsabers or something? That's a weird thing for me to bring up. But it's kind of funny how their lightsaber color switched. So filming took place in a number of locations. The Tunisian desert once again for Tatooine, the Plaza de Espana in Seville, London. There was also filming done in China, Vancouver, San Diego, and Italy. And the film apparently underwent some reshoots, including the rushed addition of a new action scene in the Droid Factory, because Lucas felt that the film lacked a quick enough pace in the corresponding time frame. They reused a lot of the stages used in the 2000 film Moulin Rouge. That was a film that Ewan McGregor starred in. And apparently Hayden Christensen often made lightsaber noises while filming the lightsaber fight scenes. Lucas had to tell him to stop that, which I absolutely... That's just awesome. A big notable thing about this film, and I'm not sure if this film started it, but it was definitely one of the more prominent films to do that. This is the last note to make about the history, was that it emphasized the great use of, quote, digital doubles. So basically computer-generated models that double for actors in certain scenes. There was a completely CGI-created Yoda, as opposed to the puppet that was in the original trilogy, as well as the Phantom Menace. And apparently that kind of was something that George Lucas was scared to death of, because he was really concerned about how the animation department would handle the climactic duel between Yoda and Count Dooku, because he felt that it would be a more comedic duel than serious, which I'm definitely going to have to comment on that when we get to it. The duel between Yoda and Count Dooku. But so we talked about a little bit of the history of the film. Not really much else to talk about, so we can just dive right into the plot. Unless Riz has anything else to say.
No, I'm good to go for the plot.
Okay. All right, so this movie takes place 10 years after the Battle of Naboo. The year is 22 BBY. The galaxy finds itself in the midst of a separatist crisis. That's what it's officially called. Many planetary systems have declared their intent to secede from the Galactic Republic, forming a new thing called the Confederacy of Independent Systems, CIS for short. This CIS is under the leadership of Count Dooku, former Jedi Master. And while the galaxy is standing upon the brink of a civil war, and attempts made to assassinate Padme Amidala, she is now the senator of Naboo, having ended her term as queen. Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi is sent to investigate the assassination. His Padawan, Anakin Skywalker, escorts her home to Naboo to protect her from any other attempts. Obi-Wan's investigation leads him to the water world of Kamino, where he discovers the creation of an army of clone troopers to be made for service to the Galactic Republic, and his investigation eventually leads to him arriving on the planet of Geonosis, where he discovers the truth behind the Separatist movement. While all this is going on, Anakin and Padme find themselves slowly falling in love. They refuse to act on their feelings since it would destroy their lives. But two eventually travel to Tatooine when Anakin senses his mother may be in danger, only for them to find that his mother, having been freed of slavery by a man who later married her, was tortured to death by the Tusken Raiders. That leads to Anakin going into a complete rage and killing the entire village and getting angry that he wasn't able to save his mother. Shortly after that, Obi-Wan is discovered and captured on Geonosis. Anakin and Padme rush to his rescue, but they get captured themselves. The Republic rallies behind Chancellor Palpatine to give him permission to take on the clone army. The Jedi arrive to stop Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Padme's executions, and that quickly escalates into a full-scale battle between the Separatist forces and the Galactic Republic. Obi-Wan and Anakin are unable to stop Dooku when he escapes to join with his Sith Master Darth Sidious, and they pretty much won because even though the Republic was victorious on Geonosis, the Separatist army is still alive and well, and unfortunately, the Jedi's mission to maintain peace has failed, and the Clone Wars have begun. And while the Republic is overlooking like their brand new army as they prepare to go to full war, Anakin and Padme, who have acknowledged their love for each other previously on Geonosis, they return to Naboo, and they get married. And that's how the movie ends. So what do we think about the? We can kind of use this to transition into the characters a little bit. But first off, we should probably talk about what we think about the plot of this movie.
So, in general terms, my biggest complaint would have to be, I feel like the Padme Anakin love story felt a little forced, even if you take out the creepier elements of that relationship, the way they portrayed it on screen. Like it didn't feel natural the way it happened, and I think some better pacing could have helped quite a bit.
Like, how do you mean with the pacing?
Well, okay, so it just felt off to me that Padme tells Anakin, you can tell Padme starts to care more for Anakin when his mother is lost, right? That's when she really starts to give him a lot more attention. Obviously, stuff he has to. And I know they had a kiss prior to that, but they didn't really establish how that romance even when did they start feeling it? Because did she see all those characters for Anakin all throughout those years they were separated, or did she just fall in love with him right then and there when she saw him again 10 years later? That's not really quite clear to me how that played out. Because if she loved him for 10 years, there are some issues there on a moral level. But if she fell in love with him now, 10 years later, then what exactly drew her into him? Because to me, it just seemed kind of rushed in that, they meet. Padme tries to play it off like, oh hey, yeah, I remember you, Anakin, you're just a little kid, you're always gonna be solid to me, whatever. And then a couple scenes later, they start to build a romance. And like, okay, so you saw him as a kid a couple of scenes ago. Now you're seeing him as an adult man, and you're already in love with him. Like it just seemed like it could have paced it out a little bit better somehow.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Like I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. Did she love him all along, or did she start loving him when he came back into her life? What do you think?
I don't know. I feel like there's I feel like they're trying to imply that there was like a jump between like the two the two meet on Coruscant. And Anakin and Obi-Wan are assigned to protect her, and then because they have to talk a lot more and just making small talk while they're on that ship disguised as refugees. Maybe they bond a little bit, and I guess what the film is trying to imply is that they have that little moment on, at her house where they have the kiss, and then it cuts right to them, like just in the field, like having like this type of flirty type of conversation. I feel like we needed more showing like how they got from awkwardly talking to where Hayden has his like super awkward, like I don't like sand type of line, which everybody makes fun of. And how do we get from there to them like talking in a real flirty way in the field? We probably needed like one or two more scenes like of showing how we got from there to there. And I don't think there were any deleted scenes, because the VHS copy that I had of the film back that I watched all the time when I was a kid had some deleted scenes, but all I remember was like there being scenes where like Anakin meets her family, like she has a mom, a father, who we actually see in Revenge of the Sith later during her funeral, and her sister. But if I remember correctly, I don't think any of those deleted scenes really help further the romance, if you know what I mean. So yeah, there was nothing written in the film, I don't think, that would have fixed anything as far as I know.
No, because you really needed. I mean, to me, the only way to fix that romance would have been to have another time skip of like a month or two, where maybe it took, for whatever reason, Obi-Wan a month to figure out, to go to Kamino. And so Anakin and Padme are on Naboo for that 1 month or 2 months or whatever. And in that time, they go from awkward conversation to kind of flirty. That would make more sense. But it was almost like I think it all happened in a span of like 3 or 4 days, the entire movie. So I don't think they had the luxury of time to buy them time to get that feeling across. There's no way they could have done that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But aside from the love story, I don't have any other critical heartburn with the story per se. I thought everything else, for the most part, was fine. Though I wish we had gotten more on the Separatists and their struggle, because I'll be honest with you, I didn't understand the Separatist problem or why we had this war until I watched Clone Wars the first time. Like I understood that they were at war, and I know some political thing, but it didn't make sense that the Separatist army was a big deal, and that they're fighting for. I mean, we didn't even get like full motivation until the most recent Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah.
So I mean, it took a while to get all that rationale that could have given us in the movie if they had spent more time on that plot. And I don't know, maybe it should have been brought up a little bit in the first movie. Like if they had started talking about Separatist problems in the Phantom Menace, because it was kind of sudden out of nowhere. Hey, we're 10 years in the future and we've got a Separatist problem. But if we had like some scenes in episode 1 where it's like, oh yeah, the Separatists are getting aggravated and they want to leave the Republic. That could have helped a little bit with that to kind of help us as an audience understand what was at stake here, what were we fighting for.
Yep.
Because Padme keeps talking about she's there for a very important vote, but I didn't understand what the vote was she was going for. The first couple times I watched the movie growing up, it didn't make sense to me. I was like, okay, so here's some important vote. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to enjoy the movie for what it was. Which was hard to do because I couldn't enjoy it because Anakin and Padme made it really bad.
And if you want to have any emphasis on just like how a little they try to put effort into like showing how anything about the separatist crisis, we don't see the main villain of this movie, that being Count Dooku, until like over halfway through the movie. Like in the Phantom Menace, in the Phantom Menace, we see Viceroy Gunray and we see Palpatine within like the first 10 minutes of the movie. Here, and that's part of the reason why, honestly, like I've seen so many people say that the Phantom Menace's plot is super complicated and that's what makes it bad. I completely disagree. I feel like if you watch the movie knowing that like this is supposed to be like all about Palpatine's like first stepping stone toward becoming like Emperor for life, it's a pretty straightforward plot. Palpatine has gotten in league with this corrupt organization, and he's having them stage an invasion of an innocent planet, all as part of like this big conspiracy theory for him to be elected as chancellor. Then okay, yeah, I mean it's pretty straightforward there. This movie, not so much, like because we only see Palpatine in his Sith garb for like 2 seconds at the end of the movie. And we don't see him planning stuff with Count Dooku. So it's like, where does all of this go? Like, you won't know, and you won't know until, many years later when you watch Revenge of the Sith, and then later by watching Clone Wars, how this is all part of Palpatine's big plan. Like, I don't feel like the movie emphasized that enough. Like, could we get the story of, like, how, I mean, you're constantly talking about all these different organizations that play a huge part of the galaxy. And okay, fine. Fair enough. We know what the Trade Federation's beef with the Republic is because we just watched the whole previous movie. But you're talking heavily about the corporate alliance, the Commerce Guild, and the banking clan, and the Techno Union. I mean, can we get more of their backstory? And to be fair, I think they go into more of the backstory on the banking clan and Techno Union and the 2008 Clone Wars series, but I mean, here we are, like almost 25 years after this movie, and I still don't know much about the corporate alliance or Commerce Guilds.
Because they're not important enough to worry about, dang it.
But the movie emphasizes them a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely. But
so they should be important.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's the problem, right? That I think it's partly because we said earlier in the history that Lucas was kind of at a point of I don't know if I want to do this anymore because the Jar Jar debacle kind of soured his mood towards it, and so he didn't really put a lot of effort into writing the story like he did the first time.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but
I feel like this movie would have been like you said how it would have been better if it took place over like several months. Like I feel like the better way you could have handled this was you could have opened the movie up with a scene that like shows like the that shows like maybe Count Dooku meeting with like maybe some of those separatist council members, like maybe he's meeting with Viceroy Gunray, and we'll know who Viceroy Gunray is because we watched the Phantom Menace, so I mean it's perfect to set it up, and like Count Dooku shaking hands with Newt Gunray, and Newt Gunray is maybe introducing him to like some of his other people that have some beef with the Republic, like Sand Hill, that's that's the really tall, like narrow-faced guy who's the leader of the banking clan, and maybe a Wat Tambor, that green guy who's wearing that suit that has to like adjust the thing on his chest so that he can talk, the leader of the Techno Union. Like you could have had like one scene at the beginning to kind of emphasize how the separatist movement is being organized, then maybe cut to like a couple of days later where like maybe establish that like Padme is going to like try and get a vote for the anti-military thing, and that leads to the assassination. Although at the end, although I'm trying to still wonder how they could have done this without the assassination attempt, because I feel like that makes it a bit more complicated. But then if you don't have the assassination attempt, you don't have a catalyst to get Anakin and Padme together. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how I would have done that differently.
Honestly, I think the big problem we had here was there's too many plot points going on that we probably could have done better to have a fourth movie in the prequel era.
Yep.
Because there's so much stuff going on in the prequel era that we need the background on. Like we gotta establish the Padme and Anakin thing, gotta establish the separatist thing, gotta establish how Palpatine comes to power. And I mean, those are three very big plot points. And I think we did a pretty good job giving the origin of Anakin and giving us first stepping stone for Palpatine in Phantom Menace. And Attack of the Clone, I think they did a pretty good job of stowing. Well, okay, it's not a pretty good job, but they did enough work to let us know that Anakin and Padme got married in this movie. They did that pretty well. They kind of sort of did a good enough job to at least let us know that the Separatists was the reason for the war. But I think we needed either a much longer movie, or we needed like episode 1 part 1 and episode 2 part 2, like how we had the Harry Potter movie split Deathly Hallows into 2 movies. You know, we needed something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because without it, we just don't have the time.
And not only that, but like, I mean, with the separatist stuff, it's just unfocused. But like, I know people have pointed this out. And okay, so the Jedi, you know, like people point out how Katie was kind of talking with me about this too. My wife, she was kind of. So she asked me like how the Jedi aren't really able to like sense that Palpatine is the Sith Lord, which I kind of get that because you know they're just so arrogant that you know they just don't believe it even when Dooku outright tells them. But here's this one plot hole that I don't get. Like Obi-Wan knows that Anakin kinda has feelings for Padme. I mean, Anakin like literally kind of makes it clear to him a little bit when they first arrive in the movie. So why does he think it's a good idea to have Anakin be alone with Padme in a different location? Like, you're not going to tell the Jedi Council to like, hey, my Padawan might have some feelings for this woman, and she's a very attractive woman, so we like send somebody else to take care of her. Like, and I get it, you know, there needs to be a catalyst for how Anakin and Padme are going to meet and fall in love, but you don't make it that easy. It just that really bugs me about this movie.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. I mean, if they ended up like together through like different means, it would have worked a bit better. But I don't know. Like this just. I mean, it's like me giving. It's like me taking a plate full, like a tray full of pies and putting it in front of the Three Stooges and saying, "Okay, guys, don't go and throwing these pies in each other's faces. I'm going to trust you. Okay, bye."
No, bad idea.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like any rom-com setting, honestly.
I know, but
that
point always just bugged me.
I know, it bugs me too. It's like Obi-Wan knew how Anakin felt the entire time. He didn't tell anyone, hey, don't send Anakin to protect her. Which kind of lets me think that Obi-Wan... So we know from Clone Wars TV show that Obi-Wan had a thing for Satine from the Mandalore planet.
Yep.
And so I think Obi-Wan has a softer spot when it comes to attachment and romance among Jedi and other people. So I think he was more willing to let Anakin try and find the love that he was denied.
Yeah, that's possible.
But I don't think that was intended when they wrote the movie. But you can definitely say it's intended now, like 20-something years later, because how the media support it.
Yeah. We can actually kind of use this to kind of segue into like how we our thoughts on Obi-Wan Kenobi's character here if you want to.
Yeah, go for it. Why don't you start off?
I definitely I enjoyed his performance in this movie. We're seeing like this feels like a really great like in between where so it's very important to note that Obi-Wan is not considered a master right here. He becomes a master like after the Clone Wars. He's just considered he's a mentor. So there's a difference between like a master and a mentor. So he'll become a master after Anakin becomes a knight. But this is kind of a transitional period where he's much old. He's a little older and wiser compared to like his his fearless days in the Phantom Menace. But he's also not quite at like the Alec Guinness level that we see him in the original trilogy. And I think it's pretty good. This is kind of where he would be in between, where we're seeing him much wiser and like he's doing his investigation, which I thought was cool. The guidance that he's trying to offer Anakin as a master does seem to be genuine. And I always like how his relationship is with Anakin, where he cares greatly for Anakin, and he's determined to honor the promises that he made to Qui-Gon for his death. But at the same time, Anakin can be a very frustrating person to deal with. And I'll go into a bit more detail when I talk about Anakin, but I have the feeling that like the movie wants us to think that Obi-Wan is being just this overbearing parent, and Anakin is just this rebellious teenager that we just have to relate to. As an adult, I probably relate to Obi-Wan a lot more because Anakin can be quite a handful. And I'm just like I'm completely on Obi-Wan's side in that relationship. Honestly, even as a kid, I found myself on Obi-Wan's side.
Well, the problem with Anakin was he knows he's the chosen one because he was there in that meeting when they told him that many years ago. So he knows Qui-Gon risked everything to make Anakin a Jedi to one day be the chosen one to bring order to everything. So he's got that chip on his shoulder where he's like, hey, I'm a badass. I can do everything, and I can do it better than all of you. And you really see that kind of come out. We'll get to that more with Anakin, but you really see Anakin resenting Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan trying to rein him in. And I think part of the problem is, I think Obi-Wan might have been a tad too young when he got charge of Anakin. Like he had just barely become a Jedi Knight himself, and here he is being a mentor to Anakin. I just don't think that was a good move.
Yeah, for sure. There's one other thing I want to note. Some people, myself included, when we did our Attack of the Clones review on the G Ranger channel, which I kind of regret saying this stuff now. People criticized how Obi-Wan wasn't able to was struggling to hold his own against Jango Fett, despite being the only generation, the only Jedi, his generation who have fought and defeated the Sith Lord. But looking at that now, I don't think that's kind of a big deal because keep in mind, Jango was Jango was selected to be the original of an army of clones that were bred to. We don't know it yet, but the army would later was pretty much bred for the purpose of killing all the Jedi. So it would make sense that someone whose purpose in the plot of the movie is to be someone who's going to be cloned like millions of times to create an army to kill Jedi. It makes sense for him to be able to hold his own against the Jedi, if that makes sense. So that's just something that I kind of wanted to bring up. But I think that Obi-Wan was overall a pretty good character in this movie. I got nothing. I got no complaints about him.
No, Obi-Wan was solid. He's probably one of the best things in this movie, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. Did you want to add anything?
No, I mean, you covered him pretty well. And I think I said pretty much a lot about him when it comes to him dealing with Anakin and maybe him being a little bit too young with Anakin. Because let's face it, he was right out of Padawan learner status, training somebody else who's a really young Padawan.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sure he had a lot of help Yoda in the beginning, but I mean, it's still rough. I mean, the argument can be made that Anakin was the same with Ahsoka, but I think there was at least like a year or 2 years before Anakin was given that charge, right?
I would imagine that maybe I think a year. I don't know what. I think. Yeah, probably a year between, or maybe at least a couple of months between Obi-Wan, between Attack of the Clones and the beginning of the Clone Wars when Ahsoka shows up. Probably not a year, but like a significant period of months.
Yeah, so I mean, he has some time to kind of adapt. And the reason he even got Ahsoka, we'll talk about some more detail later, is because Yoda wanted to find a way to try and calm Anakin down. And he thought giving Anakin Sarge when being might be a trick. But in Obi-Wan's case, that wasn't needed. And Obi-Wan, I think, struggled more with the early days of getting Anakin to fully grasp, the Jedi way, attachment and everything. And I think had Qui-Gon been around, I don't think Anakin would have struggled as much because Qui-Gon would have helped him earlier on with his mother and dealing with Padme and everything else because he wouldn't let that happen. But Obi-Wan was just like, whoa, I'm over my head here, but let's try.
Do we want to move on to talk about Anakin?
Yeah, let's talk about Anakin. Anakin... And Anakin bugs me. So not because he's very poorly written, because he's not that far off the mark where he needs to be for the story to make sense later on. I just think some of the more detailed parts of Anakin's story were missed. So the broader strokes were there, where he struggles with his hubris, which kind of leads him down the dark side path a little bit. He's definitely struggling with attachment because, dear God, he has such a thing for Padme. And he's still missing his mother, which what literally everyone was worried about in the beginning was, oh my God, this kid's going to be too old to become a Jedi. He can't do it. And so it happened. I mean, he just was too old to have been a Jedi. And it's unfortunate because he was chosen one, allegedly. So Anakin had that moment kind of correct that he had the dark side path and he's walking down a bit. But it's such a jarring difference seeing Anakin in this movie and, spoiler, seeing him in episode 3 having the Clone Wars in the middle where Anakin is kind of still cocky, he's arrogant, but he's more charismatic, I find, in his cockiness. But here, in this movie, I mean, Anakin is more whiny and more annoyed and angry, and he's telling Padme, I can do better, but Obi-Wan holds you back, blah, 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 and all that stuff. But honestly, the writing just is so different between this movie and hell. I mean, the Clone Wars and Anakin and Finn are a little bit, are definitely different characters in terms of how they're written. I need to see episode 3 again to kind of tell you if I think episode 2 and 3 Anakin are kind of similar, but I'm tending to think they are just because of what I remember of the movies. So I don't know. It just seemed like it's a very jarring writing style in terms of like the detail. I think the scene where he's massacring the Tusken Raiders is perfect because that is a very Anakin thing to do when he loses his temper, when he gets too emotional because he's got the attachment thing going. That made sense, and I completely support it. But the entire subplot of him loving Padme in the way that he did, I don't think that was an earned plot, if that makes sense. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. But did you want to add anything? Because there was something I definitely wanted to add about Anakin.
Go for it.
So I might. So when you're talking about how Anakin is whining and how he feels like he's better than Obi-Wan and all that. So here's the thing. I wouldn't mind that scene if it wasn't for the fact that right from the starting gate of the movie, Anakin is already kind of whining. Like honestly, if they built up to Anakin, if they kicked the movie off showing Anakin being very respectful, very mature, and being just respecting Obi-Wan, and only to then kind of be put into that type of behavior because he's such an emotional wreck from losing his mom. I wouldn't have minded it, but the problem is that right from the starting gate, he's already a very unlikable character because here he is with Obi-Wan, and he and Obi-Wan are meeting with Padme, and Obi-Wan is saying, we're here to protect Padme. We're not supposed to start an investigation. We're only here to protect you. But then Anakin says oh no, we're going to figure out how. We're going to figure out who's going to try to kill you. And he's starting to openly question Obi-Wan's judgment in front of other people, which I mean, Matt, even when you're at that age, maybe if he was still like Jake Lloyd Anakin, that would have been one thing, but when you're at that age, because he's like 19 years, so he's still kind of a teenager, you probably imagine if you're 19 and you're meeting with your dad, or meeting with somebody, you're openly questioning your dad in front of other people. That's just not something that someone does. And I get that he's a teenager, but it's still just that comes off as really disrespectful. Even as a kid, I just found that to be really irritating. Probably because I was. I always kind of never to treat my dad that type of disrespect. So I just kind of didn't like how he was doing that. And that's where the problem is. If you started off with him being very respectful, like this mature Jedi, then he starts to feel like temptation from Padme. And then he goes to Tatooine and he loses his mom, and that just completely wrecks his mind. And that's when he starts going into this, Obi-Wan's told to be back, and he's jealous. That would make more sense to me because then I could tell he was a good person, but then he lost his mom, who meant a lot to him, and that screwed him up. But no, right from the start of the movie, you feel like he has resentment toward Obi-Wan. And that bugs me.
Do you think that if we had added a couple of scenes to the beginning of the movie prior to them finding Padme, like maybe they're off-world on some adventure, and you saw Anakin and Obi-Wan interacting as that respectful Jedi mentor Padawan thing, do you think that would have helped?
Yeah, probably.
I think that's what we're missing too. But also we gotta also think about what I was thinking in the Phantom Menace review a little bit here. I think what I said in the Phantom Menace review was Anakin was filled with self-doubt from the get-go. Because if you remember Phantom Menace, he was told in front of the entire Jedi Council, hey, you're the chosen one. Qui-Gon figured it out. But Yoda and Mace Windu, who are like the masters of the Order, are saying you're too old, you're not worthy of being taught, we don't want you. So right there, that destroys his self-confidence, his psyche, and fills him with that self-doubt from the get-go. And so, if Anakin had always been kind of more resentful to Obi-Wan throughout the years, because one, Obi-Wan's not Qui-Gon, and Qui-Gon understood Anakin a little bit better, I think, than Obi-Wan did. So maybe Anakin might have felt a bit more resentful about the fact that, well, if Qui-Gon lived, I wouldn't have had as many troubles with Obi-Wan that I'm having right now. Because Obi-Wan, I don't think was quite ready to become a master right away, like how he was. So I think all that build-up of self-doubt and Obi-Wan's inexperience to be a good mentor to Anakin could explain Anakin's behavior. You want to go down that path and look at his psyche in that way. But we needed more in the movie to tell us that.
Yeah, for sure.
Like me saying it now, after the fact, 25 years later in a podcast, does not undo what the Attack of the Clones did. It helps, it explains it, because you have all this other stuff to point to in Clone Wars and all the other stuff, like, even the Obi-Wan TV show, I think, helps us kind of see the fuller picture of like Obi-Wan and Anakin's relationship in a better light. But we don't see those early years where I think Anakin struggled a lot, and we just didn't know about it.
Yeah, and I want to stress something in this podcast. My criticisms of Anakin are not have nothing to do with Hayden Christensen, because here's the thing. Hayden Christensen, I feel like he is trying his damn hardest to make this work. He is trying his best. People who call him a bad actor, he's not a bad actor. He is a victim of George Lucas writing terrible dialogue. Because let's be honest, George Lucas cannot write good dialogue. And I feel like there are some scenes in this movie and in Revenge of the Sith that show that he's capable of playing Anakin in the more mature way that I wish that he had been portrayed in. The problem is that Lucas writes him that way. If he was written a whole lot better, like if I had to go back in time, like if you wanted me to go back in time and ask George Lucas to change anything in the prequels, all I would say is just change the script. I would have him pick Hayden Christensen to play Anakin every single time, but he's just a victim of bad writing here. I don't want to mean any disrespect to Hayden Christensen, because he seems like an absolutely great person, and he is trying his hardest here, but he just can't compensate for the bad writing. That's why I feel so sorry for him.
Absolutely, and I'll say it again. I'm going to reiterate you. Hayden Christensen's a fantastic guy, and his acting is honestly not bad. He's a victim of George Lucas. Just like some other actors in this movie were given a really bad hand by George, and people hated on them. I've seen on different Reddits and Facebook groups people saying, "Oh my God, Natalie Portman destroyed Padme." by being, a bad actress, but I don't think Natalie Portman did a bad job. She was given a bad hand because George Lucas was really distraught about the reaction to the first movie.
Yeah. I mean, his dialogue is constantly using all of these like pretentious things, like that scene where Anakin and Padme are talking about their feelings for each other, but then ultimately decide not to act on them. That could be a really emotional scene, but like Anakin describing it in like these like I can't breathe, and like I can't even remember half of it, but it's like really pretentious dialogue. It feels like it's more suited in like some Shakespearean, like some old school Shakespearean tale that was like being broadcasted to people in like 1615 or something like that. Where you never use contractions in sentences. Like why are people afraid of the apostrophe when writing dialogue? Like that. It's George Lucas' bad writing that really hurt Anakin here. Back in the day, I would have said that Leonardo DiCaprio would have been better to play Anakin, but no. Hayden Christensen was perfect. The writing just wasn't.
Yeah, and I mean that's just George Lucas not being a good headspace to write the movie. Mm-hmm. I think Anakin could have been a lot better. Because I think all the points were in there about Anakin's self-doubt, about everything to do with just hey, let's get Anakin written in a way that we can see he's full of hate, he's full of self-doubt because he hates himself, right? Like let's play with that idea a bit more. I mean, that would have made this movie solid.
Yeah,
because I think even the Padme subplot could have been cut off of that because he could probably learn the Jedi way and be like, okay, attachment's bad, but I hate myself. I'm not really the chosen one. Let me throw it all away because I have an infatuation with Padme and I'm seeing her again. That could have been interesting if we had seen that. We don't see that here.
Mm-hmm. Do we want to talk about Padme right now?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about Padme. I think that she's. I feel like she's a badass character here. With like being like a really strong senator who wants to like vote against the Army Creation Act, but. I don't know. I mostly like her just during the Battle of Geonosis scenes where she's able to get herself out of a jam by like picking the lock on her cuffs and then like trying to fight off Nexu. And even though she gets like gored on the back, she still picks up a blast, fights everything off, and fights the droids off. Like she's just a real badass in this movie. But that's all I can really say about her.
Yeah, Padme is a pretty solid character throughout. Like I think she was dealt a bad hand in terms of like where her character went in the story, in terms of Anakin, but everything to do with her being a senator, everything to do with her at the Battle of Geonosis, I think her character there was fantastic because she's strong, she's independent, she's capable of taking care of herself. She's really a strong woman in the franchise, and she deserves that recognition that I don't think she really gets a lot of.
Yeah, for sure. But we have anything to add about on her?
No, we can move on to Dooku if you want to start there.
Yeah. So I want to be a little fair to this. I feel like so. Let's be honest. Dooku was kind of a very one-dimensional villain in the Clone Wars. Here he's kind of a mix between what he is in the Clone Wars while showing a little bit of shades of like what we see him be in like Tales of the Jedi. So like when you're a kid, you just kind of watch him and be like, oh, he cut Obi-Wan and he cut off Anakin's arm. This guy's just pure evil. But watching that scene where like he's talking with Obi-Wan while Obi-Wan is being held in the containment field, I feel like that scene alone kind of planted the seeds for us getting those Tales of the Jedi episodes, because we see Dooku initially, telling Obi-Wan that, hey, I didn't want you captured. I mean, I can have you released right now, but I want to like talk to you about some stuff. And like he's talking about like the corruption in the Senate, which he mentions that briefly, and that alone just kind of plants the seeds for what we see in Tales of the Jedi later on. There's the part where like he sounds genuinely sad when saying that he wishes Qui-Gon was still alive. And he even tries to tell Obi-Wan, like, hey, Obi-Wan, the Chancellor is actually the Sith Lord. If you join me, you can destroy him. And so there's some depth to Dooku here. And part of the reason why there is depth there is also because he's played by Christopher Lee. And Christopher Lee is an absolutely amazing actor. I think he was already playing Saruman in Lord of the Rings by the time he was playing Count Dooku. Like Christopher Lee was just born to play very sophisticated villains, and that's no exception here. I mean, too bad Count Dooku doesn't do as much in Revenge of the Sith other than just show up to get killed by Anakin. But here, Christopher Lee is able to give some personality to a character that clearly wasn't meant to have that much depth. But I would probably go so far as to argue that Christopher Lee's performance here also kind of helped plant the seeds for what we got in Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah, definitely, because I agree with you. His character in this movie alone is kind of dull. He's not really well defined. He's kind of there for the sake of being evil. And it's not even clear that he's working with Palpatine until much later on. So I mean, he's just a generic evil guy, but he's an evil guy with lots of sophistication, which again, he's really good at playing those kind of characters. And for Christ's sake, he has a cane for a lightsaber.
Yep.
So, he's a really classy kind of guy. And I mean, I don't have much else to say about Dooku aside from what you said, that, he was written, he could have been written a bit better, but I think overall he served the purpose we needed for the framework. And I say that only because of Tales of the Jedi years later.
Yeah, but like I said, I feel like the way that Christopher Lee kind of handled or delivered some of the dialogue that Lucas wrote, that stuff that might have inspired Dave Filoni to really how he fleshed out later on. Like when Christopher Lee, he's able to show genuine sadness when Dooku says he wishes Qui-Gon was still alive, which again is we later see how close a relationship we have with Qui-Gon. So like I said, I don't think that Dooku is so. He's definitely not Tales of the Jedi Dooku, but he's definitely a couple of pegs up from like the Dooku that we see in the Clone Wars, which is basically just a Saturday morning cartoon villain.
Yeah, definitely.
I guess we can wrap this up with Palpatine.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about Palpatine here. He's still kind of in the background, not really super prominent. My only thing I want to say about him is I wish we had a couple more scenes with Anakin and Palpatine here, because one thing I kind of find odd is so this will kind of segue out of Palpatine a bit, Nate. So if you want to say something about Palpatine, go for it now, because my analysis of Palpatine will kind of take us away from Palpatine pretty quickly as well.
Yeah, just to kind of piggyback off of what you said, like we're later going to see in Revenge of the Sith that like Anakin is going to talk really about how he and Palpatine were like really good friends, and how like the two developed like a close friendship while Anakin was training, like from the period where Anakin went from Jake Lloyd Anakin to Hayden Christensen Anakin. He and Palpatine had a friendship, but we only see Anakin and Palpatine together for like one scene. I really wish there was more. They kind of stress that he and Anakin kind of had a bit of a relationship, because that would have also served for the audience too, because the audience kind of put two and two together to build up for the next movie. Oh, he's grooming Anakin because he knows that Anakin is the only one who's capable of destroying him. So from a very young age, he's trying to convince Anakin, oh no, I'm not your enemy, I'm your friend, so that he can later turn Anakin into Vader. The audience can kind of put two together through that. I feel like there need to be more synthesizing that.
Yeah. So my thing, Nate, about Palpatine is the entire movie and the entire prequel era is a testament to how dastardly Palpatine is. Because you see multiple times in the movie, I think, where Mace and Yoda are off on their own, discussing all the events, what's going on around them, and they say, yeah, we don't see this coming because our abilities to see in the Force are being shrouded, they're unclear, there's too much darkness, you can't see anything, blah, 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 whatever. And that's really because Palpatine has been disabling the Jedi Order for years. At least for 10 years, if not longer. I think longer than that. So Palpatine did a really good job of, giving away for the Jedi to kind of falter and kind of get weakened. And one question that I've been asking a lot over the years has been, how could this majestic group of people, the Jedi Order, in 20, 30 years, fall from being this well-known, respected organization to being mainly forgotten by most everyone and not even being believed to exist, be like missed in the story? And I think we have our answer here is that the Jedi Order didn't just die here in the next movie when Order 66 happened. They were already dying out. They were already getting rare. That's why there were not too many Jedi for them to even have a Jedi army to help the Republic if they wanted to. Which they don't want to, because they're not an army to begin with. But that's why I think they were unable to continue to grow as a Jedi Order, is they just didn't have the sight to see as well as they could, so they were kind of diminishing it over time. And, if you look at Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Jedi, Yaddle is there in episode 1, and then he dies by episode 2. You know that because of Tales of the Jedi. And so it's not that far off to say, okay, the Jedi are dying, but how's the recruitment going for them? Because very clearly there's a ton of kids out there they could be recruiting, but they don't, because I don't think they can send as well as they could be. But Palpatine can send them. That's why he sends the Inquisitors out to find them later media, like Bad Batch and other stuff. So I think that's why the Jedi are kind of less known as we go further in history, because it wasn't 20 years, it's probably like 20, 25, however many years it was. And that's not even counting whoever was the master for Sidious before him. I think it was Plagueis, but I don't know that for certain.
No, it was Plagueis.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a very interesting thing to see Palpatine here trying, like not even trying, he's doing the thing where everyone is just bamboozled. They don't know what to do with the Force because the Force kind of dwindling around him, and he's just enjoying the show. I don't know. What do you think of that, Grant?
I think the bigger problem here with the Jedi, like this is what they're like clearly trying to imply, especially since Dooku outright tells Obi-Wan that the Supreme Chancellor is a Sith Lord. Like Obi-Wan tries to bring that up and Mace Windu and Yoda at the end, and they just kind of write it off like Dooku just trying to mess with them. I feel like this is just kind of reached a point where like the Jedi have just kind of reached this point where they've just all become really arrogant because this is the Jedi at like the height of their power, and they've just kind of become arrogant. Like Luke later says that in the Last Jedi, like they were at the height of their power, and yet they just allowed this new Sith Lord to rise to power. Like right under their noses and then just eradicate them all. I think this really just that just proves that it's mostly just arrogance. And I know what you just said about how them not being able to recruit as many people. If you were referring to why they didn't want to recruit Anakin when he was too old or something, they actually do go into some detail in one book that. There was this one Jedi who, ironically enough, he was trained by Dooku as well before Dooku trained Qui-Gon, named Rael Averroes, who was like this. He's very much kind of like Qui-Gon, except a little bit, except even more extreme. Like he's a Jedi, but he lives his life on the edge, and he was apparently a real bad boy Jedi, and just incredibly difficult to train. So the Jedi Order just thought, okay, no, we can't be recruiting people like at his age anymore. But at the same time, that could speak a lot to how maybe the Jedi's numbers aren't as big as they used to be because, well, you had trouble training this one guy when he was like 6 or 7 years old, which led you to be reluctant to recruiting other people to join you, like. At the slightest hint of inconvenience, you just give up trying to recruit people who are a little bit older, like that. What sense does that make?
Well, my point wasn't that they couldn't recruit like they recruited Anakin and couldn't handle him, but Anakin wasn't that hard to find. I mean, he's on Tatooine, and he's not really doing anything to avoid being found. So why did it take the order to send a Jedi to that planet indirectly to find him, for them to realize, okay, here's that chosen one that we're all looking for. He's right here on his backwards planet. Like if Yoda was better in tune with the Force, he would have found him right away. If Mace had been more in tune with the Force, they would have found him right away. But these guys were not in tune with the Force as they should have been. Because of all the darkness building up with Sidious and with Places and whatever else going on before all that High Order. So I think there is a lot to be said about them dwindling well before the start of this movie, before Palpatine even comes on the scene, like as Chancellor. But the bigger point isn't just Anakin. It's if they couldn't find Anakin until he was 6, 7 years old, how many other kids did they miss completely?
Yep.
Like they missed them. They could have turned into complete adults. Never knew they were force sensitive, or they might not have had a suspicion, but they're like, I'm not really force sensitive. That's not me. They would have come here if I was. So I mean, I think they were too weak to have done anything, and they were already kind of going the way the dinosaur here.
Was it that they were too weak, or maybe they just felt like they were fine just the way they are, and they didn't need any recruits? Because Tales of the Jedi has kind of established that by this point the Jedi aren't really peacekeepers. They're more interested in just kind of being like lapdogs for the Senate, like the people who just like the council, they love to go up to like those big socialite meetings and like hang out with the Senate and like favors for the Senate, while showing very little regard for like the people of the Republic. That's kind of what caused Count Dooku to break away from them. If you've watched the Jedi, you'll know that. So maybe that also kind of relates to that. Like the values of the Jedi via the Jedi Council have just changed to a very catastrophic degree.
No, I don't think that's entirely it. Because if they're the lapdogs of the Republic, then they want to make sure the Republic is well taken care of, because they are lapdogs. Meaning they'd always trying to increase their numbers to train more soldiers to be at the ready to do whatever the Republic needs. Because if they like start to, as Jedi get older and they start dying, let's say Mace dies in 30 years, and Kit Mundi dies, and a bunch of other Jedi start to die out, and they're not rooting from the bottom up, then they're not going to last in that way. They have to keep recruiting, because as the Jedi get older, they die, and if there's nobody to replace them, then the order's gone.
Well, I think the implication, the more that I think about it, with the ranks not being, that rate to the point where they get easily outnumbered by the droid army. I think the other implication could be, and this is just what I'm thinking, maybe it's not so much that they're not recruiting well enough. It could also just have to do with the fact that maybe people have just lost faith in the Jedi Order. Because people are more and more, because we've already seen in Tales of the Jedi that we're seeing Jedi be sent on missions and kind of see how different the Jedi Council is to the Senate being incredibly corrupt, and like there were probably Jedi other than Dooku who just got completely disillusioned from the Jedi. Now, sure, they never went. Most of them probably never went the path that Dooku went, where they are openly now Sith Lords, but they just up and give up the Jedi Order because they don't feel like the Jedi Order is what it used to be. Like that could also be a possibility.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think you've got a point, but I also think that it could be either or,
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's a definite problem we're looking at in this movie, is we're seeing, for whatever reason, the Jedi Order getting a lot weaker, a lot less capable. I think I'm going to use the word capable instead of weaker here, because I think capable is more directly defining problem that we're looking at.
Yeah, but this is like it's kind of weird because I like, and we'll probably see a bit more when the light comes out. But I remember I was watching a Star Wars Explained. There's my shameless plug for his show. He was doing like a breakdown of the trailer, and he said something along the lines of that he notices in the trailer, which keep in mind that Acolyte takes place during the High Republic years. So he noticed that like the temple, the Jedi temple, which naturally it's going to look the exact same way that it does in the prequels, but like he kind of feels like the temple looks a lot more like higher up above the ground on Coruscant compared to how it does in the prequel trilogy, where it appears to be like sinking down. He kind of used that more as like during the High Republic years, that was when the Jedi were much had their values at a much better point, where they didn't just serve the Senate, they served the people of the Republic. But now here they are during years where they become a bit more entangled with their own corruption, and the temple's starting to sink into Coruscant to where it's just lost all of its majesty. I think that was something that he said. I can't remember exactly what he said, but the point that I think the bottom line is that the Jedi of the prequel era are far from the great warriors of old that took place during the High Republic.
Yeah, and those are the Jedi that I think we hear 20 years later when we're in the original trilogy, and they're talking about the Mystic Jedi. I think that's what they're talking about, high order.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, do you have anything else to add on Palpatine?
Yeah, I had nothing else to add with Palpatine.
Okay. So one other plot point that I was kind of annoyed at when I was watching the movie last night. So I know we get some more detail on Sci-fi DS and Clone Wars, but literally they don't mention him again after thinking him missing the clone army in the movie. Like he's never mentioned again. Like, come on, let's do something else with that name.
Are you talking about just in the movie?
Just in the movie. Like they could have done something more to it. Like you know, kind of say, oh, well, Sci-fi DS might have been killed and, you know, Palpatine's project or whatever. They should have done something with him.
I feel like they're trying. I feel like they try to do it, but they don't flesh it out that well because so you'll remember the scene where Obi-Wan is in not interrogating, but pretty much interrogating Jango Fett while on Nino. He asks, he mentions to Jango Fett Sci-fi DS, and then Jango says, who? And then Obi-Wan says Sci-fi DS. Didn't he commission you for this project? And then Jango said, no, I got hired by this other guy named Tyrannus. And for those which him using the name Tyrannus is probably that's Count Dooku for those who don't know, because Count Dooku's Sith name is Tyrannus. So I feel like maybe the movie's original intention, and I don't know how it is in Legends, because this is but the Legends continuity is where it would have been around when this film was written. But the official canon explanation is that Dooku killed Sci-fi DS and used his name. Used his name when talking to the Kaminoans to commission the Clone Army when it was really just him all along.
Yeah.
And I feel like the movie should have done a bit more. Like I don't know, maybe Jango said he got hired by like someone named Dooku or something. Saying Tyrannus. I mean. People aren't going to catch on to that because you call Count Dooku so many times that nobody even knows who Darth Tyrannus is.
Well, I don't think they've even mentioned Tyrannus in this movie. Like they don't ever call him that in the movie. They don't refer to that until the next movie.
Palpatine calls Dooku Lord Tyrannus at the end.
Okay.
But it's just that one time. And the only reason I know that Dooku's name was Tyrannus was because that's what half of his action figure toy names were. But a bunch of adults are not okay. Some of them, but a lot of people who are just going to watch this movie are not going to be going out to buy the toys. So they're not going to know who Tyrannus is.
Exactly. And you know, kind of getting into the point about the Sith being well organized. Something else I was kind of thinking about when it comes to this movie. In the beginning, when Jango kills Zam, I think was his name. Her name.
Zam was
the same thing.
Yeah, Zam.
Yeah. It could be said that you know he didn't have to use such an identifiable marking in front of two Jedi to, you know, kill Zam. They could have done something different. So I think this was the Sith's way of luring a Jedi to Kaminoan to make the Jedi think they found the clone army and that the clones are working for them, and you know they get the Chancellor to buy off. Okay, yeah, we got this clones. We have an army. Let's go use it. Like I think that's all part of the grander scheme here. Is that they're playing the Jedi like a bunch of chess pieces.
Yeah, for sure.
So Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on here that, could have been fleshed out a little bit more. I mean, this movie was what, 2 hours long?
Yeah, like 2.5.
Yeah, they added like another 20 minutes of movie to fix some plot points.
Yeah, for sure. There is way too much going on here.
Yeah, way too much. And like, I don't know, it's interesting that we have so many things going on. Like I know we said in the last one that Phantom Menace is the building blocks for the rest of the prequels, but the more I look at it, I think that was just the prologue, and this is the real building block to set up the foundation of what the prequel era should have been. With only give us one movie after to really finish it off.
Yeah, like you probably could have called the Phantom Menace episode 0, then have this be episode 1 with a little bit of stuff off, so you can make room for like some of the other stuff that was absent. Then have episode 2, which goes into a bit more detail here. Stuff that doesn't get the details here, and then do episode 3 exactly how it is.
It's the same that this movie came out well before they had the notion in Hollywood to have movie part 1, movie part 2. Because you got the Hunger Games, you got Harry Potter, you got Hobbit, for God's sake. I mean, that's 3 freaking movies.
And Hobbit. You just had the Dune movies.
Yeah, I mean, they should have done episode 2, part 1, episode 2, part 2. That would have fixed this movie quite a bit more.
Yeah. Do we want to move on to talk about the music here?
Yeah.
Honestly, this is probably the one Star Wars movie, with maybe the exception of the sequel trilogy. Although pick up later, like this is like if we're going to talk about the original 6 movies. This is probably the one movie where I don't feel like there's a lot like a huge amount of like standout music. I feel like this movie overuses a lot of the music from the original. Like we hear Duel of the Fates, and we hear some of the similar music. I guess kind of like that music that plays a little bit when Anakin mourns the death of his mom, but then he goes and kills the Tusken Raider. That's not a standout thing. Like the one thing that I guess is original, but supposed to be the big one is the song that plays when Anakin Obi-Wan is like hovering on the droid, and then we get like that bigger chase, which believe it or not, that actually sounds very similar to a musical piece that plays during Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, which fun fact, that movie came out the same year as this movie did, and made the music for that movie. Oh, that's right, John Williams. So maybe that's probably the reason why there's not as many standout music pieces here, because he had to make the music for this movie, and then he had to make the music for Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Probably just so overworked that he didn't really have time to work on a big masterpiece. Which I mean, it sucks. But I mean, the music in this movie isn't bad. Just there's no pieces that really stand out for me.
Yeah, when I saw the music on this outline, I couldn't think of anything that really stood out to me either. The only thing that even made remotely an impression on me for this movie was the use of the Imperial marks theme when Anakin is being evil with the Tusken Raiders and scenes after.
Yeah.
Like that's the only thing that stood out to me was, hey, this is more foreshadowing so Anakin's going to become Vader one day. But aside from that, there's nothing that really stood out to me.
Yep. And for those who are wondering about that Harry Potter music piece, so listen to the music that plays when Obi-Wan is flying on that runaway droid, and then listen to the music that plays during the Quidditch scene in Chamber of Secrets when Harry and Malfoy are like fighting over who's trying to catch the snitch first. that music sounds like I swear to God, it's pretty much the exact same set of music. But again, music came out the same year. John Williams was probably just overworked, so I can't really blame that.
Yeah, I mean, he's got his hands full, but he did a really good job in most of the movies, though.
Yeah. Do we have to say anything we want to talk about special effects?
Yeah, actually, I do. So, I think this was the first full transition of CGI being brought into the movie in a big way. And a lot of complaints I've been seeing about the movie stem from the fact that, oh my God, we have so much CGI, it looks terrible, this movie is horrible, I hate it. And there's some scenes that I thought are not bad. Like Yoda in CGI form doesn't look bad to me. I don't mind him in that form. I didn't really like when I saw that even in individual moments with the clone troopers, they were all CGI as well. That should have been left to be a practical effect.
Yeah, for sure. I never liked how the clones were all just CGI and they're there.
Yeah. And then the other thing, I don't really know if there was like any really big, impressive lightsaber duel or fight using the special effects in this movie. I mean, the only thing we really had was the Yoda Dooku fight, which I think you're going to talk about a lot more later on.
Yeah.
Or if you want to talk about it now, we can. I don't know where we want to put that.
We could talk about that when we're just talking about like the favorite scenes and stuff like that. Not that it's going to be my favorite, but when we're talking about scenes.
Okay. Yeah, but that's my thoughts on special effect.
Yeah, and I had that, so we can talk about some fun facts real quick. So in the Jedi Temple library scene, there's not that many. So like with Phantom Menace, I didn't talk about this. There's no like special edition stuff. The only major change. So there's two major changes. One of which I'm going to talk about in the fun facts here. But the only main change that I can recall from like watching it on Disney Plus and Blu-ray and watching it on VHS is that during that scene where like Anakin is sleeping and he's having a nightmare of his mother. I can't remember this when I watched it originally, but I do think that in later editions they added effects of like Anakin's mother calling him out for help. So that's the only other change. I haven't seen anything like that up, but I don't remember that when I was watching the movie on VHS. So I really wanted to add that up real quick. But with that being said, in the Jedi Temple library scene, there's two busts on display that are supposed to be Jedi, but the busts are actually based on the faces of George Lucas and John Knoll. John Knoll is the film's visual effects supervisor. Here's one change that's actually kind of funny. As Slave One departs from Kamino, Jango Fett can be seen hitting his head on the ship's door as it closes. So a lot of releases, not when I saw it on VHS, but probably starting when it got released on Blu-ray. They added a sound effect of his head banging against the door. Visit Film, and I forgot to mention when we did A New Hope. So in A New Hope, two very similar scenes. It's kind of funny how this happened once in both trilogies. There's a part where when stormtroopers are entering, a stormtrooper bangs his head on the door that didn't go up all the way. In the special editions, they added the like clunk sound effect of like his helmet clunking against the door. Well, here George Lucas gets to do it again. He gets to add a sound effect of Jango's head banging up against the door because George Lucas just has a really great sense of humor, I guess. Anthony Daniels and Ahmed Best, they play C-3PO and Jar Jar Binks respectively. They play guards in the club on Coruscant, so they get to take off. Ahmed Best gets to take off the CGI Gungan for a little bit, and Anthony Daniels gets to take off the droid suit. Jet Lucas, he is the son of George Lucas. He has a cameo as a youngling. This youngling's name is Jocasta. He can be seen during the library scene standing behind Jocasta Nu, causing her to step away from Obi-Wan after she dismisses his idea that the archives are incomplete. He actually played the exact same character in Revenge of the Sith, but we'll get to that later. Lucas's other two children, Katie and Amanda, they also appear as Twilight patrons in the Coruscant Club. Katie was also previously one of Anakin's friends in the Phantom Menace. Also among the patrons of the Coruscant Club include actors Matt Doran. Matt Doran plays this sleazy Balasar alien named Elon Salongo. For those who don't know who that character is, he's the person who decides to try and sell Obi-Wan some death sticks before deciding he wants to go home and his life. Sorry, I love that scene so much. And Fiona Johnson, she doesn't have. There's a point where we can see Anakin's point of view while he's looking through the club, searching for Zell. And there's this one blonde who's looking at him a little flirtatiously. That's who she plays. And the reason why this is notable is because both of these actors, Fiona Johnson and Matt Doran, they were in the Matrix, the 1999 film, the original Matrix, the one good one, and they both had very similar roles to the roles that they play here. Where Matt Doran, just like in Attack of the Clones, plays a sleazebag. And Fiona Johnson plays flirty blonde, just like in the Matrix. Which and keep in mind this was in 2002, which I think was shortly before the second Matrix movie was supposed to come out. So this was like when Matrix Mania was had fully taken over the world. So that might have been intentional. Remember that time that the Matrix basically just ruled the world.
I remember that. Those were good days.
Yeah. And finally, there another scene with the Coruscant Club. We can see pod races on the screen. Believe it or not, the footage of these pod races is ripped directly from the Phantom Menace video game, which that's
pretty funny.
Yeah. But those are all the fun facts here.
Okay.
Do we want to talk about our favorite scenes?
Yeah, I'm going to let you go first. I'm kind of curious to see what you're going to say, given what you said earlier.
Yeah. So I would. There's one like there is one scene I want to give a shout out, and I'm going to talk about that with my favorite moment. But with that being said, I would probably say that like. I really love the arena battle where it's just the Jedi and the battle droids. I just thought that was always a really cool scene. I always loved it. Like I really wanted the toy of the Geonosian temple so that I could recreate the scene when I was a kid. And even today as an adult, that still stands out to me. That's probably the big lightsaber thing that I always liked because think about the whole. I know that they clearly wanted the scene of Yoda versus Count Dooku to be like this movie's big standout lightsaber duel, but it really just doesn't do me. Like a lot of people were like laughing a little bit when Yoda was like fighting Dooku. I don't know. I just that scene came off as a little too comedic for it to be like par with the duel with Maul and Naboo or the Mustafar duel. Like. It's the arena battle was pretty cool, but there's no big one-on-one lightsaber duel that really stands out in this movie, unfortunately.
Yeah, so for me, I got two. The first one is a very subtle thing that I honestly don't know if I caught it when I watched Attack on the Clone years ago, but I'm catching it now. Is there's a really small scene when they're trying to escape Geonosis separatists, and you see one of the Geonosian bugs. I forget what they're called.
Geonosians.
The Geonosians. And he's giving a disc over that holds the Death Star plans, because they're building the Death Star on this planet.
Yep.
And that's more explained and given more exposition in Clone Wars because we meet Cluck. And I thought that was a pretty cool scene to kind of tie together everything else. So I thought that was a pretty good scene. Other stuff that I liked a lot would be the Obi-Wan versus Jango Fett fight on Kamino. I thought that was a pretty cool fight.
It's Kamino, by the way.
Yeah, Kamino.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good fight. I thought that was a pretty good fight because it's really kind of reminiscent of stuff you've seen in the Mandalorian movie. I mean, the Mandalorian TV show. Also, just because it's kind of badass, I do like the scene when Yoda comes in with the cavalry, with the clone army.
Yeah. Everybody was cheering in the theater when that happened. Yeah, I always thought that was cool.
Yeah. So those are the big ones. Like you, I also really enjoyed seeing just the Jedi against the battle droids before the clone army arrived, because that's the first time you see an army of Jedi doing anything together.
Yep.
So you gotta respect that.
Which, by the way, before we move on to our favorite moment, you bring it up how the Geonosians were like building the Death Star on there. I just want to say to all the people who constantly talk about how Legends is the superior continuity. Well, that scene actually created quite a bit of a mess in the continuity because there was a book series that I actually remember reading this when I was in high school. These books came out in like the mid-90s called the Jedi Academy Trilogy, which I don't recommend, by the way. Like anybody who says that like all the Legends books are great, the Jedi Academy Trilogy is my exhibit A, that not everything that came out in Legends was perfect, but there's a different story on how the Death Star plans were designed by alien people on some world that was controlled by the Empire, which then how did the Death Star plan show up and attack the clones here before the Empire even existed? So yeah, for anybody who says that like Legends is better than canon, that's just one example I love to point out how the continuity in Legends makes the continuity in Power Rangers easier to follow sometimes. To be honest,
that's saying a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, I was never going to get a chance to say that again, so I just wanted to bring that up.
That's fair.
You would want to talk about our favorite Force moment?
Yeah, you want to go first? You can have your ramble after.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've already talked a good bit, but I think it's worth mentioning again that it's not particularly like a moment at one point in the movie, but it's like a thing that's happening throughout the movie, and that's Palpatine and Dooku using the dark side to cloud Yoda and the other Jedi from really being their full potential. And that kind of raises a point that I forgot to mention earlier about the Sith and their manipulation. On one hand, you could say, they're trying to kill Padme in the beginning, but I don't think they're trying to kill Padme in that explosion when they did the bombing. They're probably trying to lead the Jedi to find the clone army so that they can have a way to, utilize the clone army to start Clone Wars off. And that level of force usage, I think, is pretty impressive to me.
Yeah.
And I do have another thing that I'll probably mention before we hit our movie ranking, but I'm going to let you go ahead with your stuff.
Yeah, all I'm going to say is the best use of the Jedi mind freak ever. Some guy tries to sell Obi-Wan dipsticks and you don't want the dipsticks. You want to go home and rethink your life. Like I can watch that scene repeat. I can watch that scene like 10 times in a row and never not. And I would never not laugh at that scene.
It's a great scene. It really is.
Yeah. I know that's not as deep as like what Riz just said. I definitely agree with what Riz just said. But just from like an entertainment standpoint, again, that's the best use of a Jedi mind we've ever seen in a movie. So yeah. I mean, I love it. That's my favorite scene from this movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you want to? What else were you going to say?
So I forgot to mention earlier in the podcast. I guess would have been in the plot summary part, but I had a note I wrote down about the timing of this movie in relation to 9/11. So I think this movie comes out 8 months after 9/11, and there's a very interesting parallel of a terrorist attack that stakes the core of the Republic and of America and in Coruscant, and people want answers, and this kind of leads to a war that is puppeteered by higher up beings and stuff. And I just thought it was interesting that we had this parallel in history and in Star Wars movies. And I think I read somewhere that Lucas might have pulled some inspiration from that to build onto like his movies. He likes to do a lot of political commentary in his works.
It wouldn't surprise me, but from what I know, like I don't know how much it would relate. I mean, first of all, because they were probably filming all of this before. I mean, they were filming and writing everything before 9/11, but it definitely probably related more to the Vietnam War because Lucas was very vocal about how critical he was of the Vietnam War. But there were similar things that happened in the Vietnam War where we were like trying to fund where we started off by just trying to fund resistance to the Vietnam's like communist government, but we pretty much had every intention of eventually just entering that war to try and stop the communist government ourselves. So we try to pull off all of these things propagandize us into doing it. So I feel like probably drew more inspiration from the Vietnam War than from Iraq.
Yeah, that's fair, and I definitely can see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you wanted to talk about the Yoda Dooku fight, right?
Well, just that it came off as more comedic than epic. Which I already talked about that. Like I clearly feel like this is clearly the movie's big lightsaber duel that they want you to remember. Like everybody wants you to remember the Maul duel when you leave Menace. Everybody wants you to remember the big I am your father Bespin duel on you come out of the Empire Strikes Back. This is clearly meant to be that lightsaber duel. Excuse me, but it's not a bad lightsaber duel. It just seems a little too unintentionally funny to me.
So when I first saw this movie in theaters many years ago, when it first came out in 2002, I don't remember the friend I saw it with, but I do remember walking out of that movie, and for the rest of the day, all we could talk about is Yoda, the hopping hermit, flying around the room fighting Dooku. Because that was the funniest thing we'd ever seen in our lives back then. So yeah, definitely that's the impression I got too.
Yeah, for sure. Where are we going to rank these movies? Now, what's thing?
Okay, so I've been thinking about this for quite some time, and I don't think I think the lowest I can go in this movie would be a D tier. I wouldn't call this F tier.
Yeah, this is a D tier for me for sure.
Yeah, because there's another movie later on that we're going to talk about, like probably later this year, that is definitely F tier, and you will never change my mind on that. So I know what F tier is in terms of Star Wars movies, and it's not it.
Yeah. Did I guess it right in the chat?
Yep.
Okay. I would call it.
It's not hard to guess.
Yeah, I would call it a D tier. So to kind of say this, like, so here's the sad thing. I'm always going to have a soft spot for this movie because which is probably why. Even then, I probably would never say that this is an F tier movie. Part of me wants to give it a tier because here's the thing. This was my first big experience watching a Star Wars movie because like I said, you know, when the Phantom Menace came out, I was 5. Occasionally I watched Star Wars, but I was more into like watching. I was in kindergarten, so I was more into like watching like Thomas the Tank Engine, Power Rangers, and some Fox Kids shows. But when Attack of the Clones was coming out, I was like straight up up to my head in like Attack of the Clones mania because I was 8. I was going through a phase where I wasn't into Power Rangers that much because my friends in school had outgrown it, and I was kind of following the crowd. Plus, the season that was Power Rangers that was airing at the time did not interest me. And spoiler alert, I'm not a huge fan of it today either. It was wild by the way, Riz. So you probably can't really blame me for that. And I had really gotten into Star Wars because my brother and I had started watching the movies a little while ago. So I straight up completely participated in Attack of the Clones mania. Like every time when it started when a lot of merchandise was coming out. Every time my mom and I went to the store, I had to always go to the store to check out the new toys. Whenever it was my allowance, I always had to come out with the new Attack of the Clones action figure. I had this one children's storybook that came out a couple of months before the film that had like pictures from the movie that told the whole story. I was absolutely like I was hyped to watch this. Like this is probably the first movie I can remember having so much hype going into. Like I even remember once before that whole mania hit. Like my dad and I took my little brother and I to go watch this movie. And here's the sad thing: I can't even remember what movie to go watch. I just remember that we saw a trailer for Attack of the Clones, and my mind was just completely blown. And all I could think about for the rest of that movie was, oh my god, that Attack of the Clones was so awesome. That was Star Wars, yeah. To the point where I had to tell my mom all about it when we got home. So I was the hype that I had going into this movie is an experience that I will never forget. And that's probably why I can't bring myself to hate this movie despite the fact that I have issues with it. Because that experience that I had going into it, for a lot of people that was Phantom Menace. For me, it was Attack of the Clones. I will never forget the amount of hype I had going into what was going to be my first Star Wars movie in theaters. Like I was a complete junkie for Attack of the Clones mania, for lack of a better term, what it was called. And that hype that I had going in to see that movie, I always all those memories keep coming back in my head every time I watch this. So it's not the best movie. It's definitely the weakest of the prequels, but as an 8-year-old kid who on the autistic spectrum with no real critical thinking skills and not really cognitively developed enough to know what was good, what was bad. I didn't care. I ate this whole thing up. So the experience I had with this movie as a kid is one experience that I will never forget. And I know that clouds my judgment, but I really don't care. Yeah. But you get what I'm saying.
I understand completely what you're saying. So just to clarify, are you saying you're giving this a C or a D here?
I think objectively looking at it as an adult and just seeing the problems, because despite everything I just said, and like that big nostalgia journey I just went through right now, I still stand by a lot of the criticisms I made of the movie. That's why I as much as the nostalgia stuff. That's probably the one reason why I do like to watch this movie a lot more, just to remember all the nostalgic journeys that I've had. But I would still probably ultimately call it a D tier, just from an objective standpoint.
Yeah. Okay. Either way, it's fine. I was just kind of curious where you landed at the end.
Yeah. And I'm sorry for that little ramble.
No. It honestly, your childhood experience, I think it's kind of what Lucas is going for here, because he rushed out a product that he didn't have his heart in, but he still wanted to make something memorable for the kids because that was a big demographic back then.
Yep.
So I think he succeeded because you were a clone, an Attack of the Clones junkie, as he called it.
Yeah. And I know that not as many people were hyped for it because the Phantom Menace wasn't well received, but I had no idea that people hated the Phantom Menace. So for me, as someone who did not get on the internet that much or get on discussion boards to see how much people were complaining and hating on movies, for me as someone who was blissfully unaware of all that stuff, I completely just ate everything up, and it was just a really experience for me just going into that movie.
And that was me too. I thought it was a cool movie when I first watched it. I didn't really. So the entire Padme and Anakin romance subplot didn't bother me when I first watched the movie in 2002 in theaters. I didn't care. I only started caring a couple years later when I started rewatching the movie. I was like, dang. This movie is kind of frustrating, and that's mainly because of all the people giving it so much crap, like hating on the Anakin's Padme thing, hating on the weak story, and just we're talking about tonight. That's what made me kind of more negative about this movie is all the fandom stuff. Because the first time I watched it, I thought it was not a bad movie.
Yeah.
So I mean, I get it because I was there too. But I don't have your experience on that because I'm a bit older. So for me, I didn't have that solid quality of excitement as you did.
Yeah, and that's understandable.
Yeah, at that time I was in high school, I think. Yeah, I was in 9th grade, maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But. Yeah, I mean, it. So like I said, just kind of close my thoughts with this. Attack of the Clones is a movie that's always going to have a special place in my heart, mostly because of the experience I had going into it before it came out. But at the end of the day, I ultimately realized that this movie does have a lot of flaws, and I'm very critical of it from that standpoint. And I mean, this is probably the worst of the prequel movies, and I really hate to say this, but up until a certain I would probably call this the worst Star Wars movie ever until a certain episode came out. Because believe it or not, there are two movies in the sequel trilogy that are not that Star Wars movie that we're talking about. I do think are better than this one, to be honest.
100%. I agree with you. Those two movies that we're not talking about as the worst movie are honestly some of the better movies in the franchise. I mean, they're not like Empire Strikes Back better or Return of the Jedi better, but I think they're not that far off from Episode 3.
So I would call this the second worst Star Wars movie. Honestly. Yeah. Did you want to add anything else?
Nope. All I will say is this podcast has been recorded on June 2nd, meaning we haven't seen Acolyte yet. But by the time you hear this podcast, Acolyte will probably be in the third week of airing. So we hope you've already checked out our podcast on the Acolyte up until now. And yeah, that's my ending thoughts right here. So you can close it out.
Yep. So, like I said at the beginning of this podcast, so we wrapped up our Attack of the Clones. We're not going to jump to Revenge of the Sith just yet. We're going to be taking a look at a lot of the Clone related stuff. We're going to take a look at. We're going to do a quick watch on the Tartakovsky, the 2003 series. Sorry, I keep mispronouncing this name. It's quite a mouthful. But we'll take a look at his. Of course, we'll take a look at the Majesty of the 2008 series, and we'll try to get our season 3 of Bad Batch done, as well since that ties into the timeline. We're going to try to do another book review too, as well as part of our Clone Wars mini-series talking about Dark Disciple, and we haven't really discussed this yet, but either I could either try to do an individual review, or Rich might join me on doing the review of the book Brotherhood, which also ties into this timeline. After which we will finally be able to jump into the Sith. But we are definitely looking forward to reviewing the Clone Wars, because the Clone Wars are one of the big things that I was personally looking forward to reviewing when we originally started this podcast. So
same. And given the schedule, you may not see our episode 3 review until sometime late this year or early next year.
Yeah, for sure.
Just throwing it out there,
but we'll get to Revenge of the Sith at some point.
Yeah, if you want our thoughts ahead of time, just join our Discord and ask me, and I might tell you something.
Yeah. But with that said, we will catch you guys next time. Whether we're reviewing the Acolyte or we're reviewing one of the Clone Wars series. Until that time, you guys all stay safe, and may the Force be with you. Bye for now. If you enjoy us here on the Jedi Squadron, then please consider checking out our other content, including the Anime Declassified podcast and the Toku Secrets podcast, which you can find on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, or on our website, animesecrets.org. And if you have anything that you would like for us to review that hasn't already been covered here on the Squadron, feel free to leave any commentary, whether it be in the YouTube comments down below or by reaching out to us personally on our website. Also, please follow us on our social media pages, Anime Secrets, on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to keep up with our content as we post it. If you're listening to us on Spotify or iTunes, we thank you so much and ask you to please leave us a rating out of 5 stars. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, like the video, and leave any comments down below that you may give in your commentary or stuff you want us to review, and so on and so forth, and we will give your commentary a shout out on the Squadron, as we absolutely love to give our fans the shout outs that they deserve. With all that said, we thank you so much for listening to us here on the Jedi Squadron podcast, and we will see you next time for our next adventure through the amazing world of Star Wars. But until that time, the Squadron is preparing to enter hyperspace once again, so you all stay safe, we love you, and may the Force be with you.